Welcome, dear listeners. My name is Natalie, and tonight I invite you on a journey through a tale of wonder and courage. As the moon casts its gentle glow and the stars twinkle in the night sky, let us venture into a story that echoes across time. It's a tale of a merchant, his promise to a black dwarf, and the sacrifices made for love and honor. Join me as we unravel the mysteries of an enchanted castle, witness the trials faced by a valiant son, and discover the resilience of family bonds amidst betrayal and redemption. So, snuggle in and let the story begin. In a bustling town by the sea, there lived a merchant of great renown, his heart filled with dreams and his pockets heavy with gold. At his side were two tender souls, his beloved children, a boy and a girl, innocent and full of wonder. Together, they reveled in the laughter of youth, but their footsteps had yet to feel the weight of the world. Two mighty ships, laden with the merchant's riches and hopes, sailed forth to distant shores, carrying his prosperity and ambition upon their wooden decks. As the days passed, he could almost taste the fortune he believed awaited him. But fate has a peculiar way of dancing on the waves of the unknown, and news soon arrived like a tempestuous storm. The merchant's ships, once proud and regal, had now descended into the abyss, taking with them not only his dreams, but also his wealth. The merchant's countenance grew heavy, his heart burdened with sorrow, and he found himself in a desolate field just outside the town. It was here, amid the lonely whispers of the wind, that a little black mannequin appeared, as if summoned by his despair. "Why so sad?" the mysterious figure inquired. "What weighs so heavily on your heart?" The merchant, feeling a glimmer of hope, hesitated, but then poured out his troubles to the little mannequin. The stranger, with a knowing smile, offered assistance, saying, "I might be able to help you. Perhaps I can ease your burdens." With newfound optimism, the merchant shared his woeful tale. His entire fortune lay at the bottom of the sea, and he was left with nothing but this solitary field. The black mannequin, unfazed by the despair, replied, "Worry not, for I may have a solution. If you promise me the first thing that touches your leg upon returning home, and deliver it to this very place in 12 years, your riches will be replenished. Do you agree?" The merchant pondered for a moment and thought, "What could it be but my faithful dog?" With a nod, he agreed, sealing his fate with a written promise, and returned home, believing the black mannequin's words to be a fanciful jest. But in his heart, the merchant couldn't shake the feeling that the sea had not claimed all his dreams, and that a curious fate awaited him. Upon his return home, the merchant was met with a warm embrace from his son and daughter, who had eagerly awaited his homecoming. Their eyes shone with innocence and love, and their laughter filled the air. The reunion was a balm to his troubled heart as he held his children close and realized that their bond was more valuable than any riches. Yet the merchant's joy was fleeting, for he could not forget the promise he had made to the black mannequin by the field. As the days passed, the weight of that promise pressed upon his thoughts, like a shadow lurking at the edges of his happiness. One evening, as he wandered the dimly lit corridors of his house, his son approached him, a curious gleam in his eyes. "Father," the boy inquired, "what troubles you so? Your face bears a heavy weight, as if you carry a secret." The merchant hesitated, torn between the burden of his promise and the desire to protect his children from the harsh realities of the world. But the boy's persistent gaze tugged at his heartstrings, and he finally relented, revealing the tale of the black mannequin and the promise he had made. As he spoke of the agreement, the young boy listened with rapt attention, absorbing every word with the wisdom of youth. The merchant, still doubting the seriousness of the promise, explained his skepticism, thinking it was nothing more than a bizarre encounter on that fateful day. But the boy's eyes shone with unwavering determination. "Fear not, Father," he reassured, his voice filled with unwavering resolve. "I shall do whatever it takes to fulfill your promise, for you are my father, and your word is my honor." The merchant was moved by his son's sincerity, and a flicker of hope ignited in his heart. Yet, little did he know that his son's unwavering commitment would set in motion a series of events that would lead them down a path of adventure, magic, and redemption. A dozen years had passed since the day the merchant made his pact with the enigmatic black mannequin. The weight of the promise had faded from his mind, buried beneath the routines of life and the joy of watching his son grow into a bright and clever young man. However, as the 12th year approached, a creeping anxiety began to shadow the merchant. He could feel the specter of his oath drawing near, and the thought of giving up the first thing that touched his leg upon returning home had transformed from a whimsical agreement into a dark and looming threat. One fateful evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon and the world was painted in shades of twilight, the merchant was in the field by the town, pacing back and forth, his heart heavy with worry. He knew that he was on the verge of fulfilling his side of the bargain with the black dwarf, a creature from the depths of his memory. As he wondered about the consequences of his promise, he felt a peculiar chill in the air. Suddenly, the earth seemed to shift beneath his feet, and in an instant, the black mannequin materialized before him, his presence as unexpected as it was unsettling. With a sly grin, the enigmatic figure reminded the merchant of their agreement, in which he had pledged to give up the first thing that touched his leg upon returning home. The merchant, in a moment of anguish and realization, looked down at his son, the boy he cherished above all else, who had grown into a fine young man. A shiver of dread coursed through his veins as he comprehended the truth. His beloved son was the first to greet him upon his return. The merchant's heart ached, torn between the anguish of upholding his promise and the fierce love he held for his son. He stammered and pleaded with the black dwarf. "Is there no other way? No alternative we can consider?" The black dwarf, unmoved by the merchant's distress, replied with an eerie calmness, "A promise is a promise, and it must be kept." Hearing these words, the son stepped forward, a resolute gleam in his eyes. He turned to his father and said, "Do not worry, father. I will fulfill your promise, no matter the cost. It is the right thing to do, and I am ready to face whatever awaits me." The merchant was overwhelmed by his son's courage and loyalty, and as they made their way home together, he couldn't help but ponder the uncertain path that lay ahead. As the days passed, the merchant and his son made preparations for the fulfillment of the promise made to the black dwarf. The weight of the impending sacrifice hung heavily over their home, like a storm cloud poised to unleash its fury. The son, filled with unwavering determination, assured his father that he would honor their agreement, no matter the hardships he had to endure. The merchant, torn between gratitude and guilt, provided his son with everything he might need for the journey. He arranged for a small boat to be placed by the stream near the field, the very spot where the promise was made. The night arrived, dark and foreboding, as the two stood by the stream, their hearts heavy with sorrow and love. They knew that the black dwarf would soon make his appearance, and the son would have to leave his family behind to fulfill the promise. As the clock struck midnight, the black dwarf appeared with a cohort of menacing chain-clad minions. Their eyes were cold and unrelenting, their intentions clear. The son, though filled with trepidation, stood firm and resolute. The black dwarf approached the merchant and said, "Have you brought with you that which you have promised me?" The merchant, with a heavy heart, remained silent, his gaze fixed on his son. The son, however, stepped forward and challenged the black dwarf, asking, "What do you want here?" The black dwarf, irritated by the defiance of the young man, retorted, "I have to speak with your father, not with you." The son, with determination in his eyes, replied, "You have betrayed and misled my father. Give back the writing." But the black dwarf was unyielding, holding on to the written promise as he had every right to. The father and son engaged in a long, fervent conversation with the black dwarf as the hour grew late. At last, they came to an agreement. The son, who did not belong to the enemy of mankind, nor to his father, would set himself adrift in the small boat. The boat was prepared, and with a heavy heart, the father pushed it into the flowing waters, setting his beloved son adrift into the night. The son, with a final glance at his family, silently drifted away, leaving the father with a sorrow that seemed unbearable. The boat, however, did not sink but floated calmly as the current carried it to an unknown shore. As the son departed, he and his father each carried a heavy burden. The son was determined to fulfill the promise and to face whatever challenges awaited him, while the father was left with an agonizing ache, unsure if he would ever see his child again. As the small boat floated away on the gentle current, the son found himself surrounded by darkness and uncertainty. He could barely see the shore he had left behind, and the horizon stretched into an abyss of shadows. All he had was the promise he had made to his father, the weight of his family's love, and the determination to fulfill their commitment. Hours turned into days as the boat drifted, carried by the mysterious forces of the current. It seemed like an eternity before he finally reached an unfamiliar shore. The moon shone bright, casting a silvery light upon the land, and he could see a beautiful castle in the distance. It stood like a beacon of hope, beckoning him forward. With a sense of purpose, he made his way toward the castle, hoping to find answers to the mysteries that had brought him there. As he approached, the grandeur of the castle revealed itself in all its enchanted splendor. The walls glistened with golden hues, and the gardens were a riot of colors and fragrances. Inside the castle, he explored room after room, each more enchanting and bewitching than the last. Yet, every chamber was empty, devoid of life and sound. His heart grew heavy with a sense of foreboding, and he wondered if he had come to a place of solitude and sorrow. It was not until he reached the final room that he found something other than emptiness. There, coiled in a graceful ring, lay a snake of exquisite beauty. Her eyes, as bright as emeralds, met his gaze, and her voice resonated like the sweetest melody as she spoke. Have you come, my deliverer? I have waited for 12 long years. This kingdom is bewitched, and you are the key to its liberation." The son was both startled and amazed. He realized that this bewitched snake was the key to unraveling the mysteries of the castle. The snake maiden explained that breaking the curse required his commitment and courage. He would need to endure trials and challenges. But if he succeeded, not only would he free the castle from its enchantment, but he would also bring honor to his family and his word. Determined to fulfill his promise to his father and to rescue the snake maiden from her serpentine form, the son agreed without hesitation. The path to redemption and restoration had begun, and he was resolute in his commitment to break the curse that had bound the castle in enchantment for so long. With unwavering determination, the son embarked on his quest to break the curse that ensnared the bewitched castle. Little did he know that the path ahead was fraught with peril and challenges that would test his resolve and bravery. The first trial he faced was a room filled with riddles and puzzles, where each wrong answer seemed to summon mocking laughter from the very walls. Undeterred, he persevered, using his wits and intelligence to solve each enigma, slowly unlocking the mysteries that had eluded others for years. As he ventured deeper into the castle, the challenges grew more daunting. He encountered rooms that distorted reality, rooms where time stood still, and rooms that twisted the very fabric of the world. Each obstacle was a testament to the malevolence of the curse, but the sun's spirit remained unbroken. Every night, as the moon cast its silvery glow upon the castle, the torment began anew. The black minions, sent by the enigmatic black dwarf, came to test the sun's resolve. They taunted him, threatened him, and tried to break his spirit, but he remained silent, determined to fulfill his promise. The snake maiden, witnessing the sun's unwavering commitment and courage, spoke to him in the stillness of the night. She whispered promises of hope and redemption, telling him that if he endured all the trials without uttering a single word, she would be there to bring him back to life. Her words were a soothing balm to his weary soul, a reminder of the love and salvation that awaited him at the end of his arduous journey. With the snake maiden's encouragement in his heart and the determination to break the curse driving him forward, the son pressed on, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. The darkness of the night and the malevolence of the black minions were no match for his indomitable will, and he was resolved to see his mission through to the end. As the days turned into weeks, and the son's determination to break the curse remained unshaken, he finally emerged victorious. He had conquered each challenge, solved every puzzle, and endured the torment of the black minions, proving that his commitment to his promise was unwavering. One moonlit night, after successfully overcoming the final trial, the enchantment that had gripped the castle for so long began to dissipate. The golden hues of the walls regained their luster, and the gardens bloomed with vibrant life once more. The entire castle echoed with the joyous sounds of laughter and music, as if awakening from a deep slumber. Amidst the jubilation, the Snake Maiden, now transformed into a beautiful princess, approached the sun with a grateful smile. Her eyes sparkled with affection and admiration as she spoke. "You have broken the curse and set this kingdom free, my deliverer. You are my hero, and your bravery will be remembered for generations to come." Touched by her words, the sun's heart swelled with a sense of accomplishment and pride. He knew that his sacrifices had not been in vain, and that his promise had been fulfilled. With the curse broken, the enchantment that had kept his wife and child in another realm also dissipated. He couldn't contain his joy, and tears of happiness filled his eyes. His reunion with his beloved wife was filled with laughter, tears, and an overwhelming sense of relief. Their embrace was a testament to the enduring power of love and the strength of their family bonds. However, as the castle was bathed in the warm glow of their happiness, an unexpected betrayal unfolded. The wife's smile turned sinister, and her eyes gleamed with cunning. She had deceived her husband and revealed her true nature. Her love had turned to greed, and she coveted the magical items that her husband had acquired during his quest. With a swift and unexpected move, she reached for the magical ring that could transport its wearer instantly to any location. She slipped it off her husband's finger and disappeared in the blink of an eye, taking their child with her. The son, left bewildered and heartbroken, realized that his wife had deceived him all along, using his love and loyalty against him. His family had been torn apart, and he was once again faced with the cruel reality of betrayal. With a heavy heart, the son understood that his quest was far from over. He was determined to rescue his child and bring his wife to justice, for he knew that love, honor, and redemption were still within his grasp. With his heart filled with anguish and determination, the son knew that he had to embark on a new quest. His beloved wife and child had been stolen from him by deception, and he would stop at nothing to find them and bring his family back together. Leaving the bewitched castle behind, the son set off on a journey to find his wife and child. His path was uncertain, and the world was vast, but he was fueled by the love and honor that had guided him throughout his trials. As he traveled, he came upon a hill where 3 imposing giants were engaged in a fierce dispute. They were the sons of a wealthy giant, and they could not agree on how to divide their father's vast inheritance. The sons, their voices like thunder, argued and quarreled, and it was clear that a resolution seemed impossible. The son, who had always been resourceful and clever, approached the giants and offered his assistance. He suggested a way to divide their father's inheritance fairly, ensuring that each son received a share worthy of their father's legacy. The giants, impressed by his wisdom, agreed to his proposal and thanked him for resolving their conflict. In gratitude for his help, the giants gifted him with 3 magical items. The first was a sword of immense power, with a command that whoever wielded it could declare, "All heads off but mine," and all other heads would fall. The second was a cloak of invisibility that rendered the wearer unseen by all. The third was a pair of boots that allowed the wearer to travel instantly to any desired location. With these newfound gifts, the son continued his quest, knowing that they might be the key to rescuing his wife and child from the clutches of his deceitful wife. He returned to the palace in disguise, using the cloak of invisibility to hide his true identity. He observed from the shadows as his wife celebrated her newfound wealth and status, unaware that her husband, the true king, was among the guests, watching and waiting for the right moment to reveal himself. As the grand celebration in the palace continued, the son, concealed by the cloak of invisibility, observed the revelry and the guests who had gathered to honor his treacherous wife. He watched as they feasted and danced, their merriment seemingly boundless. The moment had come for the son to confront his deceitful wife and unmask her betrayal. He stepped forward, his true identity still hidden, and addressed the assembled guests with a commanding voice. "Ladies and gentlemen," he declared, "I am not here to disrupt your festivities, but to reveal a great deception." His words hushed the crowd, and all eyes turned toward him, their expressions a mix of curiosity and surprise. The son continued, "I am the true king of the Golden Mountain, and this woman, who stands before you as a queen, has deceived me and stolen my child." His wife, believing her husband was long gone and her treachery safe, pallid with guilt and fear. But she maintained her fakeda, denying the son's claims. "You are a madman," she spat, "a liar and a fraud. There is no truth to your words." The son, undeterred, knew that it was time to reveal the power of his magical items. With the sword in his hand, he declared, "All heads off but mine," in an instant, the heads of those who had mocked and doubted him rolled to the ground, leaving only the son and his wife standing. The palace erupted in chaos and panic as the guests, now headless, fell to the ground. The wife, her arrogance shattered and her true nature revealed, could no longer hide from her husband's wrath. The cloak of invisibility fell from the son, unveiling his true identity. He addressed his wife with a mixture of sorrow and anger. "You were the betrayer, the one who broke our family apart. Now you shall face the consequences of your greed and deceit." The wife, defeated and terrified, could only watch as a reign of deception crumbled before her. The son was determined to rescue his child and reunite his family, and no one, not even the enchanting palace that had masked his wife's treachery, could stop him now. With the palace in disarray and the truth exposed, the son stood as the undisputed ruler of the Golden Mountain. His true identity as the rightful king was no longer in question, and the kingdom celebrated his triumphant return. The son, who had endured countless trials and betrayals, remained resolute in his mission to reunite his family. He searched for his wife, who, now stripped of her deceitful facade, faced the consequences of her actions. As the son confronted her, he could see the remorse in her eyes, the realization of the devastation she had wrought upon their family. Although he could have chosen revenge, the son decided to offer his wife a chance for redemption. He knew that their love had once been true, and he believed in the power of forgiveness. With a heavy heart, he extended a hand to her, saying, "You have been my wife, the mother of our child, and I am willing to forgive you if you are truly remorseful." Tears filled her eyes as she took his hand, and she knew that she had been given a second chance. The son's forgiveness was a testament to the enduring strength of love, a love that could conquer even the darkest betrayal. With his family reconciled and his kingdom free from enchantment, the Golden Mountain flourished once more. The people rejoiced, and the land was filled with prosperity and happiness. The son, now truly the king of the Golden Mountain, ruled with wisdom and compassion. He had learned the value of honor, love, and forgiveness through the trials he had endured. His family, once torn apart by deception, was now bound together by a love stronger than ever. And so, the Golden Mountain prospered, and the son, who had once been a mere merchant, became a king known for his courage and his enduring commitment to the promises he had made. Theirs was a happily ever after, a tale of redemption, love, and the enduring power of family.